Hey everybody, we're going to talk a little bit about Oracle decks today, and this video was inspired by Rori. And so, now this isn't really a top 5 Oracle decks. I don't know if I really have a top 5, but I'm going to show some of the ones that I had worked with through the winter and some that I'm working with now. So throughout the fall and winter I had worked with this, this is called the Wisdom of the Oracle, and I know, you've probably all heard of this one. It's just so easy to use and it's very accurate. Here's the backing. And I just found my readings, very good with it. Very easy to understand. Anywhere from 1 to 3 cards generally gives a very good reading. This is a good deck if you really, if maybe you don't want to spend a lot of time in a reading, but you just want a quick read. This is excellent for that. Or if you want to, of course, use it with a tarot reading for someone to fill out the messages. I think it's great. I just think almost anyone could use this so easily. Even someone that's really new to reading. But the fact that it's so friendly and so accessible, I really think is why so many people like this one. Now, I had used it, as I said, through the winter, and I've kind of put it aside for a little while now. Now, what happens with me with my Oracle decks a lot of times is, I might just feel a little call or a little pull towards one at a certain time, and that's a lot of times how I work with my Oracle decks. And surprisingly, I recently had a call from the Mother Mary Oracle. Now, I had gotten this, I guess, a year or so ago, with the idea that I wanted to try to make a connection with Mother Mary, because I never felt a connection with Mother Mary, even though, I had grown up in a Catholic type of household, and I still just never felt a connection with her. In fact, I even bought the Kuan Yin deck trying to make that connection, and neither of them really worked for me. But these are very beautiful cards. For me, if I want, what I find is that I just work so well with nature, and if I want to make that connection with the mother energy, I do meditations with the maple tree. I call her Mother Maple. And even my beautiful aloe plant here carries that energy for me, that strong mother energy. So that's how I work, with that. But these cards, they're very nice. And I want to tell you about an experience I had a couple of nights ago with this deck. Now, I'll show you the cards I had. Let me just say that I would say since this year started, I've been going through just a lot of things to work through, a lot of difficulties. And these are the cards that came up. The first one is called Our Lady of Quiet Blossoming. It's very beautiful. I like the roses that show up in this card and throughout the deck. The second card that came up, and I only picked the 2, is Our Lady of the Rose Child. So in the first one, you can see that something is coming. Something is going to be sort of created or birthed or made manifest here. And then in the second card here, the baby is already here. So it's as if it's a fait complete. And I worked with the cards that night, and I just really wanted to take my time, and I meditated for quite a while with these cards. And what happened was the first card here became my inhale on my meditation, and the second card became my exhale on the meditation. And just breathing and meditating with the cards really helped me just to absorb the images and the information that I needed. And I have to say it was very healing. And even the next day I felt like things just felt a little lighter and a little better. So I was surprised at how wonderful this deck can be, and it was really a wonderful experience. Now it comes with a very kind of a big book, I guess you could say. So after my experience the other night, after I had sat with the cards for quite a while, I thought, well, I'm just going to go over and take a look at the book. I didn't feel like I really needed to, but I was curious just to read it and see. And for me, what happened was, well, once I read the book, the bubble kind of burst a little bit. The magic sort of went away. Because for me, I don't always really work so well with a book. I work better with the images and meditation. That having been said, if you like a book, there is a lot of information for each card here. So it just depends on how you like to work, So yes, and that's an Alana Fairchild deck. So it's really a wonderful experience. Now I want to talk about another deck here that I go in and out of this deck. Okay, it's called the White Rabbit Oracle, and it is an independent deck. Now, when I got it, I used it for a little while, didn't feel a real connection, and I let it rest. A friend here on YouTube told me about her experience, which was similar, and that encouraged me to pick it up again. Now, the interesting thing is my readings are very good with this deck, and I started using it a couple of months ago. And, I just find such good readings with this deck. I can't even explain why. So I'm making a much better connection, and I like it a lot now. I can do a quick reading with this one, or I can go deeper. So either way works well for me with this deck. This deck did not come with a book. It just came with a little sheet of paper with a few explanations. So, which I don't use. So I like I said, I like working with this way, just with the images. There is, as you can see, one word on each card. And, I just think there's plenty to go on here to understand. Now, there are a few cards I do not like. And in fact, I might take one of them out. This one I do not like. It really makes no sense to me. It's called Fairylands. I don't like the characters in it personally. And pulling it in a reading really has no value to me. The other ones that I don't like a lot, but I can deal with, they have like the big white rabbit. And I mean, it does just look a little creepy to me, as my friend Claire had mentioned. And here's another one. But, other than that, I really do find excellent readings with the deck, and I like it a lot, and I'm using it quite a bit lately. I want to mention an older deck that I go in and out of use with this one. And it is called Return of Spirit by Cheryl Lee Harnish. Now, it's an unusual deck. It's a fractal deck. And here is the backing. So I know this really isn't for everyone. But I like it a lot because I just feel that the fractal adds a very healing energy. And the readings are helpful and accurate. Oops. And I like the book that comes with it. It's just a small book, not too verbose. And she presented the readings in the meanings in just such a very thoughtful way, a very friendly, kind manner. So I like that about the book. And here's another one. It says Voice. So this is a favorite of mine. What else? I want to talk about another one here that I recently sort of reconnected with. And it is The Oracle of Visions by Ciro Marchetti. And it's a beautiful deck. It really is. Here is the backing. Now this is also a deck that has a lot to go on in the imagery. You can just spend a lot of time looking, and each little item in here in the cards has meaning. It just depends on how your mind is going to work at that time. So many nuances in this deck. And it does come with a nice book. Not too much information, and a little quote as well for each card. And it's interesting with the book, if you spend time with the cards and then go to his book, a lot of times it'll just give a little tiny different twist on the meaning that you've already divined. So it's actually a helpful book, or interesting. So you'll recognize his style, if you have any of his tarot decks. This is probably one of the only cards I don't care for in the deck. It just looks too much like David Bowie, and it messes me up a little. I don't care for it, but the rest are very beautiful. So that's the Oracle of Visions. Now, one more deck I want to talk about, because it is such a good, strong deck. And it is the Sacred Rebels. And there's the box. So this is another one that a lot of people talk about. And I don't know, there's just something about this deck that if I'm making a really strong decision, or or I feel that I need a little more confidence or courage to get through something, this is the deck I go to, because it really carries that energy of strength. Now, I'm going to say that I don't really personally connect with the artwork. Now, I can definitely see and appreciate the skill and talent of this artist, but it doesn't really speak to me. But that doesn't matter, because I'm still getting incredible readings from this deck. So this deck is almost like a sort of a friend that really, tells you just like it is, and kind of kicks you in the butt and gets you on your way. That's sometimes how this deck works for me. So it's a very valuable, deck in my collection. So I guess that's all the ones I wanted to mention for today. Oh, you know what? No, there was one more. Okay, one more that I like and I tend to use in the winter, and that is the Vintage Wisdom Oracle. Like I said, I use it more in the cooler months, because it just seems to have that feel. You can even see by the back of the deck. It has the darker colors, and it's like a Victorian type of deck. But I do like this one very, very much. The readings are good, and I don't mind the book in this one either. It's not too long. I like the personality of this one. It's it does have that sort of, friendly feel, but a little more mature than some of the other decks. And this is the one that's on the cover of the box. Yeah, so I guess that's about it for today. Thank you, everyone. Tell me what Oracle decks you are using lately. I know there's some really beautiful new ones that have come out recently. So have a great one, and I'll see you soon. Bye.